What's up, everyone? Welcome to another video. My name is Hans. I'm simply a dude on the internet, and I'm still learning these things with you guys. So let's discuss the Bitcoin pump. Yesterday, I told you guys that on the weekly chart, this looks juicy, right? So we've now rallied off this area in the last few days. Look at those beautiful candles. So yeah, I mean, we literally just retested these breakout levels. We can see how Bitcoin battled these areas, held the support once. We can count that there, fell through, tested once, tested twice, 3 times, 4 times, broke through, retested it, confirmed it as support, now pumping again. Bitcoin leaving all of the altcoins behind. And I'm not sharing the right tab because we're still on Pulsechain. So you can see the rally off here. What's up, Jaggy? I hope you are doing well. So rallying off beautifully off this level, this is where Bitcoin actually topped out last time at the 78.6 level, which was this area right here. Funnily, we're doing the opposite that we're doing now. We're rallying off this level. This cycle has been a lot more sustainable, right? We rallied off the bottom. Let's see how much we went up. Almost 100%. Let's look back here during the one coin Ponzi. It really didn't affect us in the West. We had no idea what was going up here. It rallied 300%, right? This is much more healthier. Generally, you want for a bottom to be formed, you want the asset to rally at least 70% and then not give up. Excuse me, you want it to rally 100%, and we literally just did that. Then you don't want it to give it everything back, right? And let's see how far we came down. I think we did like 50%, only 20%. So it's very powerful. And yeah, the bears are still in disbelief. It's quite funny. Many of them are still calling for new lows. Don't see that happening. Maybe retest the lows at 17K after the Fed pivot. In the worst case, that's literally the worst case. I don't see us making new lows. This is good for us. Generally, Bitcoin tends to wreck the altcoins before giving them a chance to catch up. Exactly the same as this cycle again. Let's quickly take a look at the Bitcoin dominance. Really showing some strength now. Our targets are up there, our time zone up there as well. So we've got time and price marked up for us there. This is now showing a lot of strength, but like I said, many of the altcoins tend to hold on to their USD value. They tend to move around that area when Bitcoin does that, but they do lose value against their BTC pairs. This is a chart like this. This is ETH versus BTC. So they tend to lose value against BTC. You can see ETH losing value against BTC, but their USD value, although not breaking out, is just simply chilling around in this area, right? Morning, BP. Hope you're doing well. So yeah, this is ETH versus, just ETH versus USD. Something to note here is that ETH never made a new low like Bitcoin did. Bitcoin made a new low down here. This is what is called really good market structure. Higher lows all the way up. I mean, there's nothing bearish here. It would be very bullish when we start closing candles. You can see we closed the candle here, but it got rejected and engulfed almost instantly. You want to see closes here and perhaps a retest, and then off you go. ETH looks really good, but it is in its third cycle, right? 1, 2, 3. So it is understandable that it would underperform your newer coins. So that's ETH. The conventional or traditional finance, you would like to maybe see a little bit of a pullback here. This has been a massive move from the lows, and they're still calling this a bear market, right? But that's just it's a retail. It's not the yeah. It just continues to show you how very bad investors people are. They continually make the wrong decisions every cycle. Next, dollar continues to chill around this area. We want it to break the lows down here. We can readjust or reassess this when we finally get close to these areas down here. This is going to be major support. And if this fails, everything else, all our risk assets will perform pretty good. ES1, this is the S&P. Let's pull up some divergences here. So there are two divergences on the weekly here. We had 7 confirmed down here. Very, very powerful. Let's just quickly check out some divergences. Pretty high, right? We're starting to create these bearish or starting to trade in these bearish oversold areas, and it's starting to form red. So it's not the time to chase here, but generally this is where you want to FOMO in those bears that have been bearish all the way up, right? And as soon as you get them in, the market pulls back, making them sit in their positions or get liquidated, or let's just see a nice retest of these breakout levels down here. You can see lots of confluence here, lots of tests, breakouts and retests. Let's retest that area so we can go ahead again. So the traditional finance does look a little bit toppy here. We've got a 1, 2, 3, 4 few tops getting rejected here with divergences coming in now. 4 confirmed divergences down here on the Dow Jones. That does look bearish, hey? Let's quickly just assess what Bitcoin is doing here. On the weekly, starting to get oversold again after we spent so much time up here. Any bullish divs? No bullish divergences. No real bearish divs just yet. A thing to note is we have broken structure, right? This is a new high here. So you've now created a higher high, which is an invalidation of the downwards trend. This is no longer a downwards trend as we have made a new. The candle obviously hasn't closed yet. Let's just take a look on the daily quickly for Bitcoin. Pretty silly up here with the Willy. It's just a modified RSI. It moves a little bit quickly. The RSI is getting a little bit oversold. This bearish divergence has been invalidated. So that's positive. Let's just look at these higher targets. So there is a little bit of bearish divergence from the area up here. Price is higher, yet the indicator has more momentum this side. So a little bit concerning on the daily here. We can see all of these confirmed divergences down here that pushed up the price. Okay, let's get into Pulsechain. I'm going to start with Hex on Ethereum. We'll cover all of those charts quickly. If my voice is lagging because I'm getting a notification that my bandwidth is slow. This is the monthly chart. Let's go to the weekly. What can we see on the monthly? Not much. This is starting, if this closes anywhere close to like 1.3 cents, that would be a doji candle on the monthly. By the end of this month, obviously, we are about 9 days away, 9 or 10 days away. If this can close anywhere above 1.2 cents, that would be very good, very bullish, because that would be a doji on the monthly. Something like this up here. That would be good to see. Let's check out. We can probably look at this chart with these indicators just on TradingView. Let's do that. Hex USDC. Look at this bull channel down here that has formed on the Willy, telling you that the bottom was forming down here. We haven't seen such a powerful bull signal on the Willy just yet for Hex's history. So that's positive. That's on the daily. Let's go to the monthly. You can see how oversold and bullish the monthly is here for the Willy. The weekly, I mean, it formed bullishness up here. Really hasn't. It is ridiculously oversold down here on the weekly. Positive signs. Let's look at the candlestick. Just an indecision candle. Nothing bullish, nothing bearish. But indecision at the bottom there just generally tells you probably the market doesn't want to go any lower. The daily, when we're starting to create this little, it's not deep enough for me to be able to call it a W, but either way, it is still a W. Just maybe a cup and handle would be more, because if it didn't dip below the 50%, that is no, okay, it went all the way to the 61.8, so it's not a cup and handle. I'd be happy to call this a beautiful W that is forming. If we break above 1.2 cents, we do have a measured move from the bottom to the breakout level all the way to 1.7 cents, but we need to start closing candles up here. Hex versus Ethereum. Let's check it out on the monthly. Bullish down here, right, on the Willy, starting to form green candles, but that is an ugly wick. Just keep in mind that these charts, especially the BTC, and you can see these wicks that it creates. It's probably best just to check it out on the line chart. We are all the way back to where we formed a base back. Can you imagine that we looked at this chart back here? We all FOMOed in, closing our little old lady positions up here. I mean, we're all the way back here. Crazy. Who would have thought, eh? I am just going to plot a candle here. Very important that we do not break this green line down here. Let's see if we did break it. That would be a little concerning. Yeah, actually we did. But are these wicks accurate? At least we haven't closed a candle yet. Like I just said, it's probably best just to take a look at it on the... And we came all the way back. Literally reset. Now, if Hex can do another cycle like this, I'd be very happy. And remember, this is ETH also going up in price, right? So yeah, still holding these ultimate lows that you do really want to see being held. Let's put it right there. Okay, so this is still positive. You don't want these to start, although we don't have all of the history, right? It's probably not fair for me to say that if this is invalidated, it's the structure has been broken, because there is more lines lower down here, which we unfortunately don't have on the chart. No divergences. Oh, there is a possible MFI divergence down here. This is Hex versus Wrapped Ethereum. Let's look at Hex versus BTC. This is the area that you don't want to see broken. You see this little beautiful W down here. Is this the, and that's literally all you needed. You needed this little W and off you go. Off you went. The same here. Is this the first V of a W? We've got 3 potential divergences, whereas back here we didn't really have divergences. And this is the weekly chart. Willy is absolutely silly. RSI, very low. It hasn't been this low in all of its history. And this is all of Hex's history, because it traded on BTC straight from the beginning. These are your 1 Satoshi levels that are often spoke about in the Hex OG circles. Yeah, that looks good. I mean, if you're looking at a chart like this and you've never participated in this, this is where the little old lady is licking her chops, right? I mean, her mouth is watering at something like this, something that's come all the way back. And this looks, versus BTC, it looks quite strong, as it hasn't really even come close to these previous lows. Okay, so that is all. Let's look at the Hex dominance. This is cool because it actually shows you all of the history. So you can probably just substitute this chart, but this is percentages, right? The percentage of the dominance of the market share that Bitcoin or Ethereum, excuse me, that Hex holds. And this looks a lot like the BTC chart, still holding structure. You don't want these lows to be defeated. And I mean, we've got so much room left. All of this is still, yeah, many coins lose their lows where they started at, and they never come back. And those are the ones that tend to never come back, where this is, I'm still positive with something like this. Now, everybody's probably laughing at me like this, but this is how we used to analyze coins back in 2017. Like literally waiting for it to get back to the bottom of its range, form some higher lows on the weekly. And that was your signal to start getting some of that coin. Let's look at Pulse, because we've got Pulse up here because it's trading on an exchange. Let's go down to shorter time frames. Look at all these confirmed divergences down here. You got your move up. We're already a little bit silly up here on the, this is the 4-hour chart for Pulse. But no divergences just yet. You can see when this divergence is formed. I won't take too much off this chart as it's too new. Back to Hex over here. The weekly, let's put on the line chart. The daily, are we starting to create some structure? Yeah, we are. So you can see that little W there, right? Hasn't confirmed yet. For this to be confirmed, we need to start closing candles up here. That would then probably up here. Because technically this with the wicks is a W over here. You have broken out. But this is probably already played out with this target hit over here. Is that a bit too aggressive? Let's measure that off the line chart. If Hex wants to break out here, we can probably see 1.5 cents. This would be considered in your Wyckoff distribution model. Maybe I should pull it up so we can see what we're talking about here. Okay, just a second longer and I'll get it up for you guys. Paste it here. Allow. For some reason, it doesn't want to paste my Wyckoff accumulation here. Oh well. Let's paste it here. Couldn't paste. Let's go to the weekly chart. Spring down here. Yeah, so you do have your selling climax down here, automatic rally. No, this is probably then the selling climax down here, your automatic rally. This is schematic one. It doesn't look at all like what we have here. Selling climax, automatic rally, ST, new low. There is another schematic, but this is generally called the spring down here as you look for volume down here to go long. Let's quickly go over our Pulsechain ecosystem. Let's just take a look quickly at Hedron. Hedron is very valuable down here. It's literally at its lows, if it loads. So this is the log scale. If we go down to the daily, I'm just looking for the Wyckoff check quickly. You can see the W down there. This is the breakout level of that W when you finally broke out. Market tends to want to retest these breakout levels, especially if the structure wasn't that powerful. What I mean by that is time spent down at this level. It just simply rallied off, right? And let's see. Look how beautifully we came back to retest this level. Literally just tapped it, never made a new low. And Hedron might, I'm pretty sure, will outperform Hex this coming cycle. Let's see if there are some divergences down here. Yeah, 3 possible divergences of MFI. Don't know what that is, and the MACD. Not my favorite ones. Really terribly oversold and getting a little silly down here. Starting to form this bullish structure. Look on the daily. Lots of confirmed divergences here. This is what a bottom looks like. 6 confirmed divergences, bullish divergences, including the MFI, the Willy, the MVI, MMF, RSI, and the MACD. The last time, I mean, we at this bottom, we didn't even have this nice divergences firing. So very powerful buy signal down here. Now, this is not financial advice, right? I simply just take my Hedron and I'm just going to hold on to it. No selling of the yield that I get off my 7 years. I'm just going to, if I do mint it, and I'll probably mint it on the Pulsechain side and just continue to stake it. That's probably not viable on Ethereum, as the gas fees are a little bit expensive. So I'll just keep it there. Maybe when I see a high in on the price chart, that maybe mint it and sell a little bit off into a more cheaper asset in the ecosystem. So yeah, I mean, Hedron looks spectacular here, hey? On the weekly here, the RSI came down. We have bullish divergences forming on the MACD. The on balance volume is a little bit not impressive at all, as the volume is just continuing to trend downwards. There's lots of people that just continually sell this, but I don't think it's too much of an issue, as it will still have its day. ICOSA on Ethereum. I mean, all of these coins has rallied double figures today. ICOSA up the most on Ethereum side with a 23% rally. Let's put on the log scale here. You're catching a falling knife here, right? We have no structure yet on the weekly. We're starting to create a V. So this is a V bottom technically with a little bit of a pullback. We had this RSI has been down here for quite a while, so won't be surprised if there was any divergences. Let's look at ICOSA over here. See how many divergences. Wow. 6 confirmed divergences, 1 possible. So this might have finally been ICOSA's low down here. We're silly down here. Let's see if the weekly printed anything. So the weekly actually has a few potential divergences, interestingly enough. So yeah, if I had some spare cash on Ethereum side, I'd definitely get some ICOSA here and do the 90 stakes and continue to compound it. That is personally what I am doing. Okay, let's go back to this chart over here. ICOSA, poor pleb. Made new lows, right? It's rallied up recently. This is the weekly, the daily. Performing quite well. A little bit high here on the RSI. Nothing crazy just yet. But I can't be chasing up here if that is something I'd be interested in. We made a new low. We've already retested the breakout zone and off we went again. So if that's something you're interested about. Texan token, I think I bought some right before the fork. Continuing to perform pretty terribly. Liquidity is very low, especially for an asset on Ethereum. This was made for Pulsechain, right? This Wix looks scary. I don't like this chart. Unless it starts making some, it's nothing personal to this project. Unless it starts making higher lows, I can't be interested, and I'll catch it when it breaks out. But this is catching a falling knife as this just continues to make new lows. Fiat, it's had these divergences all the way from here. This has now formed a bottom probably. Nice little doji here breaking out. I don't know if there's going to be any benefit to holding this coin. You can obviously stake it and earn fees. It is a fork of Aave, but you can short and long and take loans on shitcoins like Hex, and pretty sure there are others as well. I should call it altcoins because I don't believe X is a shitcoin, right? I mean, this looks pretty good here. I wouldn't mind getting some here. Liquidity is good. Volume has just fallen off a cliff. Right, Pulsechain. This is like a little cup and handle here. Unless we close above 1116, you have a measured move all the way up to 1.4 or 1461. But you need to close candles above here. This is good structure. You've got higher lows. The stochastic RSI is pretty high already, but this can spend a lot of time up here just chilling, moving sideways. Pulse X as well, it looks the same. Your breakout over there, if it breaks, you can go all the way to 60% of the sacrifice rate. The incentive token continues to hold on to the bottom of the range. This is now a nice little W there. Higher lows. If you can close a candle up here, you do have a measured move. If we can close about 15.38 cents, $15.38, you've got a measured move right into the value area, which would take you all the way up to $20. Let's look at the stochastic RSI to see what the momentum is doing. Very low still, right? So it's got a little bit more upside. You've now come down to retest the breakout level, which is the Wyckoff check. You've got the 88.6 level. You've got starting to create some structure here, which is also positive. Retesting the breakout level. I like this chart. I'm not going to lie. And with that being said, I won't be selling off my INC rewards here. It's too cheap, right? But then you should probably take a look at the ratios, right? This is a ratio, so we can just quickly swap it to the pulse. Still trending down. And you would probably, the best thing to do here, if you wanted to buy some incentive token with your pulse, the best thing to do is to wait for market structure, a fancy way of saying higher lows. You can buy the breakout level, because this can happen here, or this can possibly happen like down here somewhere. This doesn't mean that incentive token has to go down in USD value, but it looks like it wants to continue bleeding against the pulse. I don't think there's any reason for me to be interested in buying some incentive token, but if you were a liquidity provider and you're liquidity providing on these incentive token pairs, that is the area. In fact, this is the area where you should be interested. It can go a lot lower, but that is why you ladder in your orders, and at least you're not buying the top, right? Or the nosebleed section, right? Let's look at the pulse X ratio versus pulse. Let's go down to the daily chart. You want to be buying pulse X with your pulse down here. This is the nosebleed section, so I won't be buying pulse X with my pulse up here. If I was interested, I would need to wait for the area down here. And I'm pretty sure the momentum is showing the same thing. Yeah, still trending downwards pretty high. I can't be interested to buy pulse X with my pulse up here. This is the nosebleed section. This is where you get wrecked. Hopefully it does come down to these areas. Cool. So still holding quite strong. It doesn't mean it can't go higher, right? If this starts forming higher highs and maybe people's risk appetites start warming up for Pulsechain, then you can see this going higher. Because the more trading, the more PulseX is bought on market through the buy and burn mechanism. We've got PulseX, we've got Hex on Pulsechain up 13%, where Hex on Ethereum is up 17%. You can see a nice little W starting to form here, but unless we break above this, which is 1.5 cents, and close candles up there on this time frame, this is the 8 hourly. You can see a move all the way up to 2 cents for Hex on Ethereum if we close candles above that green line. Just remove some of this. RSI, do we have bearish divergences yet? A weak bearish divergence, 59. Yeah, oh no, it's lower. So no bearish divergences just yet. The daily chart will give us a better picture. This was 47. So this is higher. So there is a bearish divergence on the daily. Now it can be invalidated if we no, it is already invalidated, excuse me, because I look at candle bodies, not the wicks, right? Because these these lines print when the candle closes, so there's no reason to look at the wick or the tail. Oh, okay, never mind. Okay, so let's look at the ratio. The ratio versus the two hexes hasn't changed much. The Maximus guys launched a cool protocol combined hex. It's called C hex. Maybe you can see it trading already. Yeah, it is trading already. Hex combinator. I should probably add that. There's only $1,000 liquidity here. So this is the combination between the hexes, but it's trading higher than the hex combined value. This is trading at like 5.6 cents, where the two hexes together is 2.4 cents. So it's trading. Huh. Okay. We will revisit this in the future because you can still mint it. And maybe I'll spend a little bit more time explaining it in the future. Hedron on Pulsechain is about double the price that it is trading on Ethereum. Do I have a Hedron versus Hedron pair here? Here we go. This is the ratio over here. Let's look at. Yeah, so the EHEX is 60% of the value of the Pulse chain Hedron. Mr. 8-bit is shilling this quite hard. The Pulse chain Hedron. I mean, on the RSI, this is still above the middle of the range on momentum. So just looking at where Hedron is in depression, Hedron on Ethereum is in depression. So I would rather buy the Hedron on Ethereum, as it's, I think, a much better deal. It's in depression. Not only that, it is below its ratio. And you can buy it on Pulsechain as well, because there is Hedron e-Hedron circulating on Pulsechain. Kick, taking a little bit of a dip. I did say that there is some bearish divergences on the daily here. You can stake it. If you guys want to chat with me, do join the Telegram in the description down below. I did add it. It's probably not going to show up today because I just edited it. Okay, but either way, what can we say here? It did deserve a little bit of a pullback. Maybe look at it versus wrapped pulse because that's probably the more important pair. Yeah, we had these bearish divergences. I said bullish divergences by accident, but this is a bearish divergence. This has now played out probably. Okay, it's still tagging along. I'd expect everything to be drawn up with Pulsechain when it does eventually want to go. This is PP on Pulsechain. Nosebleed section can't be interested up here. Pretty sure the RSI is high as well. Sitting at like 57 above halfway. This looks like it's about to break out over here, as that is a beautiful little W down there. Measured move all the way up to 12, where we're currently trading at 8.2. So everything kind of looks like it's about to break out, right? It just needs that last little oomph and the close above these levels, and then off you go. We then do have a confirmed relief rally in the HEX ecosystem. And we can go over all of these charts. I'm still waiting for beats to rebuy. Just creating lower highs. It is below my sell off on a double level. So I'm waiting down here at 3K. Hopefully hoping to get some more down there. Yeah, I think we've covered pretty much everything. Anything else that I am accumulating is the payback copy on Ethereum. And this is a beautiful little W, or this is a big W, and it's on the daily chart forming here. And it's probably worth just holding some. I got some up here at the 61.8. Should have been getting some at the 78.6 level, but you get complacent sometimes, eh? With this large W, you even have like a smaller W forming as well. So this is starting to create some positive structure here and looking like it wants to break out. This is its breakout level here, so it needs to start closing candles up here if it wants to go higher. I think I've summarized everything that I'm looking at pretty well today. So thank you for watching. If you do enjoy this video, click the like button and I'll see you guys again in the next video. Cheers for now. And bye-bye.